In about 40 minutes, you are going to lose the ability to hold up your own head. The king cobra that does it is longer than the truck you need to reach. Minute 0. The plantation is black at 4 in the morning except for your headlamp. You can smell the trees before you can see them. That thick rubbery sap smell that coats the back of your throat after a few hours in the rows. Faintly sweet and slightly chemical, the smell you used to notice, and now it's just the air. The work goes the same way it always goes. Tapping knife in your right hand, row by row, scoring the bark in a low diagonal so the latex runs down the channel and into the cup below. The drops into the cups make a sound in the dark. Yours in the row you're on. Somewhere in the row to your left, your co-worker's cups, his sound, his headlamp edge visible through the trunks if you look sideways. That's the company. That's fine. The grass at the base of the trees is long in this section. It gets long when it hasn't been cleared, and this section hasn't been cleared in a while. And the ground is wet from the rain the night before. You reach around the base of one of the wider trunks to reposition a tilting cup, pushing your arm low and into the grass. And you don't see anything, because there is nothing to see in the moment before the cobra rears. King Cobra's rear. This is one of the things they do. The front third of the body lifts off the ground, the hood spreads wide, and the whole front of the snake faces you. And this one comes up almost to your chest, which means it is very large, and all of this happens in the half second between your headlamp catching the movement and the bite. The bite is fast, faster than you can track, and the pain follows a beat behind it. A burning deep pull from the bite site up through your arm to your shoulder. You stagger backward. Your headlamp swings sideways. For a second, you are on your hands and knees in the wet grass, and your arm is burning and you are breathing very hard. You get up and back up 3 steps and your headlamp finds it again. The snake has come down from its rearing height and is moving slowly away through the roots, 7 or 8 feet of it going quiet between the trees. You watch it until it's gone. Your co-worker is calling your name from the next row. You look at your arm. 2 small marks, close together on the inside of your forearm, already starting to swell slightly at the site. They look like almost nothing. There is no way to look at 2 small marks and feel what you feel right now, but there is also no fighting it. You call back to your co-worker. You tell him it was a king cobra. He asks if you're sure and you say yes. A few seconds go by where neither of you says anything, which is you both absorbing what you know. Minute 15. The collection shed is 1.5 kilometers from where you're standing, out past the end of the planted rows and across a stretch of cleared ground where the trucks come in at dawn. 1.5 kilometers is nothing, normally. You've walked it 100 times in a morning shift. You start walking it now and your co-worker falls in beside you. His phone already out, though there's no signal here, not until you clear the trees. He tries anyway, walking and checking, and the headlamps cut through the rows and the rubber trees go past one by one and the cups drip in the dark on both sides, and everything just keeps going the way it was going. The pain in your arm is bad and steady pain you can move through. What you notice around the 8th or 9th minute is something different. A heaviness in the hinge of your jaw. Not pain, weight. Like the muscles there are working against something that wasn't there a few minutes ago. You open your mouth, close it, it works fine, but the weight stays. You say something to your coworker about the direction and the words come out the way words come out. Except at the end of the sentence, something is slightly off with the shape of them. Something you can't quite name. Your coworker takes a turn he thinks is right and it isn't. The rows are identical in headlamp light and you both realize the mistake a couple of minutes in and you backtrack. 4 or 5 minutes lost. The arm is swelling from the bite site to the elbow now, tight under the skin, and the heaviness in your jaw has spread into your lower lip. When you step out of the rows onto the cleared ground, the shed light is visible ahead and your coworker runs the last stretch. Your boots are picking up mud and you don't run. You walk it. Hour 1. The radio gets through on the 3rd try. 15 minutes for the truck, the voice says. Your coworker hangs up and looks at you. You sit down against the wall under one of the bare bulbs and try to take inventory. Your arm from the bite to the elbow is swollen, and the skin there is hot when your other hand touches it. That's the direct damage, and it's the least of what's happening. Your eyelids are heavy. Not tired heavy. A slow closing weight you have to actively push against, and when your attention drifts for a second, the lids drift with it and you pull them back and hold them there. Your coworker asks you something and you open your mouth to tell him you're okay, and the sentence that comes out doesn't sound like you. You swallow. Something about it is wrong, not painful. It's just like, the mechanics are just slightly off, like your throat is working in the wrong order or skipping a step. There's a water bottle on the table and your coworker hands it to you. You take a small sip and it goes down, but the effort it takes is more than water should cost. You put the bottle down and don't pick it up again. The venom from a king cobra moves through the gaps between nerves and muscles. It fills those gaps with something that sits where the signal is supposed to cross, and when the signal arrives, it finds no room and the muscle on the other side waits and then stops waiting. You've been watching that happen in your face for the last hour. Jaw first, then lips, then eyelids, then the back of your throat. The same thing is coming for the muscles that open your chest when you breathe, because those are also just muscles, and they are also just waiting for signals that may not be getting through in time. The truck lights appear in the door. You stand and your head tips forward before you catch it. Hour 2. On the truck, for about 10 minutes, you let yourself think that maybe you've hit the worst of it. The eyelids are heavy but forcible. Your words are slow, but they are words. 40 minutes to the hospital. 40 minutes might be okay. Your head drops forward. You bring it back. It drops again, harder. The muscles in your neck are getting less of what they need to do the job, and what they're getting is getting less all the time. And about 15 minutes into the drive, you stop being able to hold your head up at all. It sags forward onto your chest and you tip sideways toward the door, and your coworker grabs your shoulder and holds you in the seat. And you can feel his hands, and you understand everything happening around you, and you cannot communicate any of it. The breaths are short. Your airway is clear. The problem isn't the throat, quality, but your chest isn't rising all the way. The muscles that pull your chest open are listening for signals, and not enough is getting through. And what comes is enough for shallow, fast breaths that leave you dizzy from the cycle of them. You breathe faster, which helps a little, which costs effort you don't have much of. You hear your coworker's voice. You hear the engine and the road and a car going the other way. You are completely present. You just cannot make any of the ordinary responses a person makes when they are being spoken to, and there is nothing to do about that except breathe. Small and fast, and keep looking at the ceiling. The driver pulls over the first time when you stop answering to your name. He pulls over a second time when something your coworker says breaks into pure alarm, and the driver checks the mirror and understands what he sees. They lay you across the back seat. Your coworker's hands are under your head. You stare up at the ceiling and your chest rises in tight little arcs, over and over, none of them enough. And the next one starts before the last one ends, and you concentrate on nothing else, one after the other, for however long it takes. A child in that same field, or someone old, or someone small, same snake, same bite, same dose, would not be in this truck. They would have run out of time somewhere along the walk. You are young and your body is doing every last thing it can, and it is just barely holding. Days later, the hospital is lights and voices and a needle in your arm and the antivenom going in. Then a machine breathing for you while your diaphragm rests and the venom slowly clears and the signals come back through muscle by muscle in no particular order. You feel your hands before your neck. You feel your neck before your chest works right on its own. On the second day, you take a breath that fills all the way to the top and you hold it there for a second. After 2 days without that, you don't have words for it. Your coworker is asleep in the chair by the window when you wake up properly. The 2 marks on your forearm are scabbed over and small. Your arm aches from the swelling that's been going down, but it moves fine. A few more days and you walk out. You went back to the plantation. Different rows. Mid-morning, your coworker in the row beside you. The work is the work. But in the dark shifts, when your arm goes around a trunk and your hand comes down on something in the grass, it doesn't immediately recognize. Rough bark, a root cluster, anything your fingers weren't expecting, you pull back before you've decided to. Headlamp down. Sweep the base of the tree, slow, twice, and your jaw goes heavy, the exact same closing weight you felt walking out of those rows that first morning. 3 seconds of it before it lifts and you reach back in and reposition the cup. Every time. 3 seconds. Every time. Enough mornings have gone by now that you understand those 3 seconds aren't going anywhere. And that's it for today's survival adventure stories. That was pretty crazy, right? Well, it gets worse. The next story is even scarier than this one. You really need to see it. Just click the video right now. You won't believe what happens.